Hi, everybody. This is E. Marcel Pertuta, Sports Inquirer, and we are happy to be joined by Sally from Georgia State Volleyball. Good to see you again, Coach. Just before we get into some specifics, how has the offseason been just the past few months with the team as you get ready for another season?
This year everyone was waiting so long to start preseason just because we haven't played since November of last year. Since we played our full season in the fall, we didn't play any outside competition. So they've seen a lot of each other over the spring. So they just can't wait to train to see someone else across the net.
You're entering your eighth season with the program. Does it feel like 8 years? And how's that time been for you?
It doesn't. Sometimes I think about my 24th year of college coaching, eighth year here, and it's gone by so quickly. And I look at our players that have come into the program and have graduated, and just the new players coming in. I really am excited about the level of the player that we have and how this program is consistently built. I think that this is going to be a breakout year for us.
Yeah, you mentioned the off season. This kind of ties into, well, two questions. You didn't play in the spring. A lot of programs around the country had to play in the spring of 2020 due to the pandemic, and their schedules are a little bit off track. You didn't have to do that. You played a fall 2020 year, and then played spring of 2021. It's confusing to even say it because the calendars was off for everybody. But how was this off season compared to last year, and just the adjustments? And then, do you think not playing in the spring and having a more traditional schedule is beneficial for you just heading into the fall of 2021?
Well, of course, the normal schedule that we would have would be spring and playing 4 play dates. And I think that that's the best for our team from a training perspective, from a ability to watch and see where your team's at with outside competition to still work and tweak some things. But for us this spring, we knew we weren't going to play. So we were able to really change our training, spend a lot of time on team culture, just dive in deep with player growth and development, both on the court, mentally, physically, emotionally, and then off the court, academically, just preparing for graduation, internships over the summer, just a lot of things that we could have tried to get to if we would have played, but we would have not have gotten a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, and you ended last season, fall of 2020, on a really strong note. I think you won four. You did win 4 of your final 5 matches, or 6 of your last 7 final matches, including a win in the Sun Belt tournament. What can you take from last season and just having that positive form and carry it over into 2021?
Exactly. It's when you're teaching a program to win, there's a lot of growth that comes with that. Just because the game of volleyball has so much momentum, either it's on your side or away, and how to maintain that stability, how to find your kills. So we looked at, statistically, we were a much better team from an offensive side. Our defense really started to come around at the end of the season. So we had some more transition attacks, and we're able to find our strengths from an offensive standpoint. So we look at those last, winning 6 out of our last 7 as coming in strong, really taking, and we finished 3rd in our division, which is the highest we've finished in 7 years. And so really growth in that aspect. I was so proud of our team on how they maintained our bubble. And with only 3 conferences playing in the fall, and us in the Big 12 were the only 2 that played their conference all the way through in the fall. That was pretty impressive for us to stay healthy, really put volleyball first. And so our players' mentality and buy-in was huge.
You mentioned the offense. We'll start with the outside hitters as we break down the positions. Leah Wilcox comes back, as far as Aaron Wyatt, who's now a sophomore and still an underclassman, I guess, technically. But what about your outside hitters with Leah, 200 kills last year? Aaron Wyatt, one of the best freshmen in the conference last year. What about those two and just the rest of your outsides?
Yes, well, we have 20 players on our roster right now, which is fantastic because we have depth in every position. And so practice is a battle that's very high competition. So the depth is there. We have both Aaron and Leah are 6 rotation outsides. Then we have a couple others that are training to be that, but are real nice 3 rotation outsides. So Isabel Percoco, Ebony Lemons, Juliana Truscott, which both Coco and Jules can play outside and right side, which gives us even more depth there. Then we have, from a ball control standpoint, we have 5 incredible DSs. And do you want me to just kind of continue with the depth chart?
We'll get into the specialist a little bit later. We'll stick with the offense, but 20 players on the roster, that is a large number. Is that intentional? I know you have, we'll get to, you have Maisha and Leah, who are the super seniors, and you have some other upperclassmen. Is that just, what led to that large number? Because that is a pretty significant amount, 20 players on the roster.
Yes. So we have, well, first of all, every player has a special skill that they're bringing so that they can add to our team in one way or another, offensive, defensively. And we found in the past that we've really struggled being able to play 6-on-6 just with injuries or class conflicts, or, just having a practice where we can go hard and, everyone is involved. And so with this number, preseason has been phenomenal. So we have a great training. Our sports arena is a great training and competition facility where we have 3 courts. So we can have 6-on-6 going on, but still some individual skill training on the side courts, which is awesome. So we're getting a lot out of our just training within a 2-hour period, which is very efficient. From an offensive standpoint, with our 5th-year seniors, yes, so Leah and Mish come back as those 5th years. And, anyone that's played the sport for 4 years, they have a different level of composure. They see the game. They're able to use their high volleyball IQ, and they're strong. They're ready to go. So both of them have been big impact players and leaders for us starting this fall season, especially with 9 newcomers. And they've done an excellent job of laying the path for them.
Yeah, we'll stick with the middles. You mentioned Griffin. You also have Claire Bednarik back and some others as well. Just what about that middle? And then that transition to the right side as well, because I know you have some flexibility there. So go over your middles and your right sides to finish up on your offensive attackers.
Yes, so we have Mish coming back, which is a 5th-year senior, and then we have a transfer, Laura Heze, who transferred from Louisiana Tech, who will be a junior for us that's doing a fantastic job in the gym right now. And then we have 2 incoming players, Macy Sipman and Lauren Moultrie. So we have a solid group of 4 middles, and we were able to move Clara to the right side, and we have a solid group of right side. So we have Clara Bednarik, who is a really nice middle right side that can run off of 1 foot. Then we have Kristen Ashby, who is a freshman, Katie Strickland, who's a sophomore, and then we have Juliana Truscott, who could again play both pins. So nice depth on both those pin positions.
Yeah, and you mentioned the DSs earlier, defensive specialists or liberos. You return Ryan and Ava, both of them saw time in that spot. Can we expect to see that a little bit more this year as well, both of them being in that rotation? And we have 3 newcomers, I think, or at least 2 true freshmen coming into that defensive specialist position. So what about that position group?
Yes, so Ava was very much a seasoned veteran for us in that libero position her freshman year. And Ryan, solid DS, especially playing in that middle back position, real nice serve. It brings a lot from serve, receive, and defense. So we have those returners, but then we have Livy Kolakowski, and she is a nice libero who has really made an impact in the gym already just in our first week. And then we have 2 other DSs, Heaven Varner, who joined our team in the spring, and then Peyton Stoner, who's an incoming freshman also. All of them have really nice touch on the ball, aggressive serving. So just the depth that they bring, and even when we're playing 6-on-6, it's so hard to get a kill in our gym right now, just from the defensive standpoint.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up with the setters, and it looks like you have a lot of new faces in that group. What about your setter position and who have stood out in the preseason?
Great. Truth Hafey is a returner for us, and
Yeah.
she'll be a senior this fall. And then we have two incoming freshmen. We have Jenna Brown and also Claire Lewis. And both of them very high level club teams, really set great offenses, high volleyball IQs, good touch on the ball, tempo. So the consistency for having three setters, I've been very impressed with how they can all deliver consistent balls to our hitters.
Yeah, and you had an exhibition match. You had your scrimmage, I guess, in team, and you had some several standouts. But now you're facing Chattanooga, I believe, in exhibition, and then you face them in the regular season, if I have that correctly, as we're recording this, in non-conference contest. What are you looking to get out of these matches before you get to Sun Belt play? Will we see all of these players that we've talked about probably get at least a set, or at least be in a few rotations just to get them acclimated to the college game with your newcomers?
Yes. And so we have with Chat, we looked at the fall season when we played a team back to back. And so on Friday night, we would play the same team as we played on Saturday. And looking at our scrimmage or our exhibition match, we talked with Chat and said this would be a great idea to play, get an idea of where our teams are at, and then be able to play again in our tournament. So from a scouting perspective, a adjustment perspective, playing a team back to back, your team really grows and is able to execute and see what needs to be adjusted. So I really like the fact that we are playing Chat this Friday and then next Friday.
And we'll end on this. So we'll speak before that Chattanooga regular season match, but how excited are you just to be back in practice and ready? And I know we're not talking in person, but still with everything going on, but you're going to have obviously protocols are a little bit more lenient. You're going to have fans at your matches. Just talk about the growth of the team. And I think I read a quote from you saying that last year was your proudest year with the program, just with everything that happened and went on. But how are you feeling now being able to have normal practices? Your students are able to go to class now or prepare to be in person, and just everything like that.
Well, we've definitely learned that each day is a blessing and that things can change very quickly. And our team absolutely knows that protocol could change tomorrow. So we're really enjoying taking and using all of our practice opportunities. We understand we're still in a bubble and that even though we have vaccinations, that it can spread through teams. So we're very cautious. And again, like I said last year, I was so proud of our team for their buy-in. And we have that same mentality. We know how precious the season is, and we want to take advantage of every day. And so yes, it is awesome. Right now, we are not having masks in practice, but we mask outside of practice. And so we just want to be cautious and protect our team and ourselves and really get through this as best we can, maintaining the highest level of season we can have.